Hello. Um, I'm live and I'm all alone except for my, two little buddies over there. It's us. Um, oh, look at that sound. Wow. Sorry. I thought I had muted that. All right. So anyway, hi. I don't know if anybody's watching. It says two watching, so it might be me and maybe possibly Peach. I don't know. That's a guess. I have no idea. I don't know. But anyway, I'm here and I'm queer. Get over it. Um, I figured because I thought I was looking, pretty good today, that I might broadcast a bit. I sent a couple of invitations for people to come on. Maybe they'll come on, maybe they won't. It's okay. Everybody has a life. People aren't just sitting around waiting to talk to me, which is surprising to me. Um, because they should be, you know. So I don't know. I figure we get some people in. What's up there, J Troy Doe? JTD? JTD. What's up? How are you? I have like this is like a cosmetic disaster here. It's just makeup all over the place, which I don't wear lots of makeup, so having this much of it spread out all over my desk is like, yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. Mean Street MMA. Hello there, Mean Street. Ah, hang on. So this is what you get. You get me and you get me kind of sitting here and just talking about nothing. Like any of it fucking matters. Like any of it fucking matters. Oh, that's right. Mean Street MMA is Tommy, isn't it? Yo, what's up, Tommy? What's up? I gotta remember that. I don't remember things as well as I used to, I think. I don't know. I forgot. So, it's like all or nothing. I mean, like, this is garbage. This is empty. Yeah, empty. This, this is too orange. I don't wear it, but it's like brand new. I don't want to like ditch it either. I don't know. Whatever. This is what you guys are doing on your Wednesday night. I'm not the one with the issue. You guys are. Because this is what you're doing. You're watching me clean up my makeup mess. And this one too. What is this? This was. See, so I got a bit left in here. This is another one. I got a little bit left. I got a little bit left in this one. Eyeshadow. Blush. Highlighter. I don't even know what this is. I have this white eyeliner, which I would love to use. Actually, I have two of them, but it's like impossible to apply. It's a brush, right? The brush end is hard, and I don't know what to do about this because if this was easier to use, I would definitely use it. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm doing all this because, well, number one, because I'm sitting here and it's a mess. And number two, I have brownies and cookies and shit, and I want to eat, you know? And there's a mess here. Empty box. So you get to watch me clean up or listen to me bitch and moan while I clean. I don't know if you're actually watching. Oh, there's 4 people watching now. Wow, look at that. So Henlo, peoples, Henlo. Who's this mail? What the fuck is this? Oh, it's an old cable bill. I'll throw that away. It's a decorative bag for what? I don't know. Oh, wait, I think I know what this is. This is the bag. This is the pouch. It's the little bag, little microfiber bag that my goddamn podcast aviators came in. So for those of you who don't know, I am a co-host every Tuesday night on the goddamn podcast, which is a lot of fun because TJ, Coctopus Prime, wow, he's always been one of my favorite YouTubers. So to be a co-host on the goddamn podcast with him is pretty cool. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. He tends to rant, which is typically my thing. So I just kind of like step back, which is rare for me. But it's cool. I enjoy it. I have a good time. He and some fat guy who is the producer of his show, and Carrie, who is a special guest who's on a lot. We all have a pretty decent time, usually making fun of Shani for Christ. I'm sorry, did I say making fun of? No, I meant discussing. We discuss her. Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, so, so there's that. So I mean, it's usually Tuesday nights. And that bald, no, the bald. Here's the thing: the bald animator. I haven't been on a show with him yet. He and TJ do like TJ and Dark Matter shows that are like just them. Although that TJ did ask me, or he didn't ask me. He told me I could come on with them for one of the Dark Matter shows, which would be pretty cool. It's the format's a little bit different than the normal goddamn podcast show. Um, so I'm planning on doing that. So that'll be cool. Hang out with Dark Matter. I haven't really spent a lot of time talking. Be ready for his puns. I know. I haven't spent a lot of time talking to Dark Matter in a long time. But I mean, his channel has gotten really big, and like Peach and I have kind of moved away from the platform. She more than I, but I mean, we've moved away from the platform a bit because real life is a whole. For those of you who don't know, like when you turn off the computer, there's still stuff that happens, and it's crazy. It's really crazy. The internet is actually pretty calm when you compare it to the rest of the fucking world. Um, this is a lot more predictable. You have a lot more control in this space. Um, yeah. So we've actually, spent a lot of time dealing with real life. But yeah, I mean, it'll be, I keep saying that I'm going to come back more and more, and I'm going to make more of an effort, and I make an effort. It just doesn't really pay off. Like I used to sit down and record a video, and when I was done recording it, about 15 minutes to an hour, depending on the video, later it would be posted. It would just do it. And if something else happened before the end of that day, fuck it, I'd have a second video up, record it, and post it. I never really, I didn't really write scripts. That wasn't my thing. I've had a couple of videos that were scripted. You can usually tell my delivery changes quite a bit. I don't read scripts very well. But, that's the way it was. Oh. The only people I think that were more prolific than I was as far as posting videos on YouTube were Vogter and Richard Coughlin. But other than that, I mean, it was like, I've had thousands of videos I've made over the years. And now, like, I tried to make a video last week and I recorded probably about 15 different takes of the video. And then I said, fuck it. And I like deleted them and said, I'll come back later and try again. And I never came back. So that's what my attempts are like these days. So it's almost like, I don't want to say I've lost my mojo, but I've lost my mojo. Um, I don't think I've ever really had mojo, but you know what I mean. That thing, I just don't really do it so much anymore. I don't have it so much anymore. I think it was I didn't really care, and part of me wants to blame transition, but it's not entirely transition. Like there was a point where I didn't really care. Like I had nothing to lose. Like I went into the whole video making thing, you know, I had nothing. I had nothing. I didn't have. I had. So I'm like, I had nothing to lose. I even had some whack job sending me messages saying that they were gonna steal all my information and my identity and blah 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 blah. And I was, dude, I got nothing to lose. Do you want my numbers and stuff? I'll give it to you. What are you gonna do? I got nothing. I have nothing. My credit shot. I own nothing. I'll never have anything. I got nothing to lose. Whatever. That's not the case anymore. Things change, life changes, you know, time marches on. Um, and I think it's because of that. I think it's because of that. I think it's because I'm not in like in a dark hole somewhere that I can be just like, yeah, I want to be more careful about what I say and what I put out there. Um, one thing, and I hate this. I've I don't want to offend people, as awful as that is. I don't want to be offensive. How horrible am I? No, but seriously, I mean, I don't. I used to love. And as much as I said I didn't love the drama, I did. I used to love the drama, and I was like, oh, I'm not in it for the drama, and I wasn't in it for the drama, but I enjoyed it because everybody likes drama. Um, and I don't care about the drama anymore. I don't. I don't. I just don't give a shit. I don't shiv a git. I don't want the drama. They can keep it. So, because of that, I don't really want to like get into fights with people over the right word or the wrong word or I must be an insensitive bitch because I said stupid. I don't want that shit. I don't want to argue with people over stupid shit. I don't want to have, conversations about inconsequential stupid shit. Don't want to do it. I would rather spend my time complaining about things that matter. Maybe I'm just, silly like that. So, this was completely unplanned. Tonight's broadcast, by the way. I was not planning to do this, but here I am. I I am getting a message. I'm getting a message. Uh, okay. So yeah, I wasn't planning on doing this, but I mean, I went this morning and got a new cut and color, and it's feeling cute. I was feeling cute, so I figured I would, share my cuteness with the world, and you know, because I think that's what the world needs. More of my cuteness. I figured I could do it here, or I can, do it on Chatterbait or something. And this is not a chatterbait body. At least I don't think so. It isn't. So lucky you, one person that's watching. It says I have one viewer. I used to pack a fucking room, boy. So what to talk about since nobody's coming on with me? Hang on a second. I want to. Where is this? What am I looking for? I am looking for this. Raven J. Right here. Copy. All right. So I am going to. Where am I going to put this? Video details. I am putting this in the description of the video. In the description of this broadcast, in about a minute or so, there's going to be a link to Patreon. If you like seeing the cuteness, and you like what I do here, and you like hearing me bitch and moan, please, I beg of you, become a patron on Patreon. $1 will do it. Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying. It's if you like what I do here, you want to see more of it, you want to see my cuteness, because, as we've already established, everybody wants to see my cuteness. Please become a patron. What else? Is there anything else? There's that. Where's the save button on this? No, it's not made for kids. Whatever the fuck. Save. All right. So there's that. So that's there. What else? That's out of the way. I talked about the goddamn podcast. What else? Yeah, I know I posted the link for the show. Dude, I don't know who you are. We have no servers in common. I don't know who you are, and you're sending me stickers on Discord. Sorry, nobody here. It's just I don't know who this person is sending me stickers on Discord. I don't know. I don't know who you are. So weird. But whatever. What is this? The Blair White Project. Biden's non-binary kleptomaniac is a mess. Okay. Blair White drives me up the fucking wall. There are a lot of people in the world that I, might not like because, I'm a person just like everybody else. But very few annoy me as much as Blair White. She is awful. She is god awful. She is goddamn fucking awful. Just a hateful person. Just a hateful, judgmental person. I don't know. It's like she's like wearing this like GOP Republican like mask. Do you know what I mean? She's wearing it like it's her identity. Like this is, and she's one of those fucking wingnuts that would talk about identity politics without realizing that all politics are identity politics. Just Blair White is a wingnut. Period. End of. Just beyond bizarre. Anyway. So, what else is going on? 2 people that are watching. How was the world treating you, motherfuckers? All right, good talking to you. um, there aren't enough. This is a good brownie. Mm, there aren't enough um, quality content providers on YouTube. The ones that are out there, the good ones, don't put out nearly enough, content. One of my favorites is Philosophy Tube. But it'll be months and months and months in between videos, and I understand why. I get it, but you know, it still sucks. I would really very much like at least 1 hour long, deeply researched and well put together and well written video a week. But that's not going to happen. So, but I would like it. I'm like dropping brownie all over. You make salad mix? What do you mean? What? When your arms go numb? No. Hmm. Like you make salad mix. This is yummy. Wow. There's a cookie. There's also crumb cake, which I will not be picking this crumb cake up on air and eating it. You mix about 3,000 pounds of salad mix. What do you mean by salad mix? Like lettuce and carrot strips, that kind of a thing, and you in a bag. I don't know what it means. What do you do? I've asked you 3 times. Just the lettuce. Oh, so you basically cut it by hand, about 3,000 pounds a week. Holy shit. Hmm. Okay. Oh. So, is Tommy from the Bronx still here? Hey, Tommy, are you still here? Are you Tommy from the Bronx at all anymore? Or is that channel completely gone? I want to know. Tommy, where are you? I have to know because I don't know anything about what's going on anywhere with anything. I am in the dark. I am isolated. Throw me a lifeline, man. Spring mix. Oh, okay. Wow. My local grocery store, they have that in their produce section. They've got the little plastic packs, spring mix. That's cool. I should be eating a lot of that. There's like no nutritional content, no fat either. So should be filling my stuff, just filling myself up on that stuff. Just getting lettuce fat so I can lose weight. Yeah, I know. Tommy changed his channel name. I don't know. Like, but does the original channel still exist, or did he change the name on that channel? Like, is it a new channel, or is it a new name for the channel? Like Raven J is a new name for the same channel. So I'm sure you know, right? I was DevShell 2 for many, many, many years. Many years. A long time. And now that's gone. You like to make wraps or sandwiches for work or at home? Come on. I need this information, man. I don't know. Yeah, wraps are better than sandwiches because, it's not as much carbs. Unless I'm completely wrong about that, but that's what I was made to believe is a wrap. It's got like fewer carbs. You've had your fill of salad. Well, I can understand why. You're cutting. You're. What are you doing? You're mixing 3,000 pounds a week. I could see. I'd be done with it too. I think. Let me see. Good way to do this. How do the hot girls from the '80s do it? Like that? No, that's wrong. That is wrong, and my hair is stuck in it. No, no, no. You almost saw me pull my hair out of my head on a live stream. No. All right. So what I got to do is I got to get nails, bright Barbie pink nails, right? About that long, right? So I can't do fucking shit, right? So I can't do anything. I'm completely helpless at that point. I'll need somebody to dial my fucking phone for me, right? With big long fucking nails. I got to do that. I got to get a nose job. So I've got a tiny, tiny little nose, tiny little non-existent little nose, right? And get my chin shaved the fuck off, right? I got to do that. Shave my eyebrows and then draw them in like a big fucking arches like this, right? Get some lip filler because got to have that. Can't be a girl without that. You got to have that. I mean, you can't see because of what I'm wearing, but I mean, not to brag, but I got nice boobs, right? But no, they're not nice enough. I need implants, big ones, right? And then I'll wear very revealing clothing and I'll come on the internet and bitch about other trans people about how they're ugly and they're not trans because they're not pretty enough. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. That to me, that's a plan. That's it. That's my YouTube career now. I will start on that tomorrow. I mean, that's Blair White, though, right? Isn't that Blair White? That's Blair White in a nutshell. Oh, I know. I know. I used to go. I used to spend hours and hours and hours in Dick Coughlin's live streams. I used to spend a lot of time in there. Even after all of the drama, I still went in there every now and then. It just got so hard to keep up with real life and the internet. And like I was saying before, everything just kind of drifted away. And I understand a lot of old school peeps, that are still doing it. You know, um, they don't do it as often as they used to. And I don't know, a lot of the energy is gone. It's just, you know, YouTube has configured itself in a way that I'm not going to say it punishes um, communities that develop the way that ours did and interacted the way ours did, but it doesn't reward it. And because it's not rewarded, it is less likely to flourish. So after years and years of like really a good time, it was a good time. Um, with the conventions and meetups and the drama and the love triangles and you know um, alien lizard people and hate clubs and I mean all of the crazy stuff and all those years of drama. It no longer became worth it to continue doing it for a lot of people. And for some of us, real life became more interesting. I don't even watch that much YouTube anymore. I hate watch now more than anything else. I watch Blair White. Not religiously. I'm like, oh, Blair shot a new video. I'm gonna watch it. I watch just to see what crazy fucking people are saying out there now and what they're believing. And the kind of shit that Blair White puts out there is just unfucking believable. So I watch her. I watch her because I hate her. What else? Uh, I still watch some Vlogbrothers content, you know, Hank and John Green. Not as much as I used to. I don't really get a whole lot of chance to do it, but that I watch more like, I don't know, bigger channel, like more corporate type stuff. Watch Mojo, um, Emergency Awesome, I think is the one, about like the movies about comic books and all that kind of stuff. Um, a lot of the in community stuff has just gotten hard to find and boring as all hell. I don't want to have the same conversation over and over and over and over and over again. That's not me. That's not what I'm down for. If people want to do that, that's fine. There's a market for that, and they can have it. I want to talk to friends that I've made along the way, which is why I still do these kinds of things. Um, I want to interact with people who agree with me. And it's not that I'm not necessarily putting myself in an echo chamber, which is what the excuse always is. I live in Trump country. I am surrounded by country bumpkins and rednecks, um, shit kickers, um, GOP, LGBT hating, you know, um, think they're in Oklahoma motherfuckers. This is where I live. And so I have enough people around me. I live in enough um, with enough opposing opinion every single day that it's nice for me to be in the company of people who think like I do. So I'm not in an echo chamber. I'm not in a bubble. Um, Surrounding myself online with people who agree with me is actually an escape. It's an escape from the Republican hell that I live in. So, and my little buddies back there, they agree. Those are the Halloween decorations, and I am too lazy to put them away. So I got the Halloween decorations right there. Behind me, see the blue behind me over here? That blue? That's my trans flag that I haven't put anywhere since I took it down because it used to be where the bookcase is. It used to be there. That's actually a desk. It's a hanging desk. That's a workstation now for me to make my hats that I haven't made. I've made one, but I will be making some. I don't know exactly when yet, though. I have to make it to the craft store. I got to pick up supplies, but I will. Um, but yeah, so the flag used to be there, and I took it down and left it there. It is on the box. It's lying on top of the box that these little guys over here, should be in. They go in there. And then behind me here, this is Christmas gifts. And then that box on the couch over there, that's the box for the Christmas tree. So, like, I have this family room here that at this point is just, it's like a holding space for, well, for shit. That's that's what it's become. And I'm too lazy to put shit away. You're too lazy to put decorations up in the first place. I would like to do more. I don't know how to do a lot of stuff. I'm useless like that. I need a man around the house. Peach and I need a man. But I would like to put Christmas lights up. And every year I say I want to do it, and I never do it. But I don't have a ladder that'll reach like the gutter. And I am not going up on the roof because I can put a ladder on the back deck and get up on the roof. I am not going up on the roof. Fuck that. Not happening. Not happening. I would love to have lights up on the house for Christmas. I would. I would really like that. Um, I mean, hey, what's up, Amber? My neighbor put lights up, and I go out and I look at his lights and I go, oh, hey, nice lights. I'm not doing it. He was actually out there a couple of weeks ago putting his lights up. He's up on the ladder. He's on the roof and he's playing with the cords, and I'm watching. And I shouted over to him. I'm like, hey, man, my house next. And he was like, ha ha, yeah, ha. Oh, I don't really have that issue. I do know that my roof needs work, and I'm afraid if I go up there, I'll make it worse. That's number one. And number two, I'm afraid I'll fall off the roof because I have that kind of luck. So, I have a problem on really high when I'm like on a really high place, like for the atheist convention that we had in Philadelphia. It was in Philadelphia. I don't remember what year that was, but there was a meetup, a YouTube meetup in Philadelphia, and one of the rooms that had a party because those conventions there's always a party. Um, so was up on a really high floor, and I don't remember what floor. I don't know, but it was one of the parties was in a room really high up in the hotel, and there was a balcony. And I learned that night that if I am on a really high balcony on like in a hotel, I get the urge to jump. And it's not one of those it's not one of those, "Oh, I hate myself, I wanna jump." It's like a pull. I can't explain this, it's how do you it's like you're drawn to the edge, whereas, like, I don't wanna go to the edge, but my brain is like, "Yeah, go." My wife and I are on what? My wife and I are on night 3 of getting our boy to sleep in his bed in his own room. Yay! Fingers crossed that he won't wake tonight. But we have our dads. Yeah, he'll probably wake. I mean, I've gone through this 4 times. Um, the 2 oldest ones were pretty much the average. So we would put them in their bed, and at some point in the night, they would end up in my ex-wife and I in our bed. Um, and that went on for a short time. And And then it was like every now and then it was just done. Oh, Amber, they're all different. Um, and then with Damon, he's now 5. Um, he just pretty recently stopped coming into our bed, and he still does. He'll come like early in the morning, like he'll wake up like 5 o'clock in the morning and climb into bed with us. And if it's like 5, as long as he isn't like jumping around and being crazy, I'll let him stay. But if it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, it's like, no, back to your room, back to your room. Do you know what I mean? And now he'll go and he won't really cry or complain. He'll go and he'll go back to sleep in his bed. But most nights he's good. He'll come in at 5, 6, or 7 o'clock in the morning, and that's okay. We can kind of deal with that. But if it's like 2 or 3, no, fuck that shit. Go back to your bed. And then there's Kai, the youngest. He never climbed into our bed. It was never, 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 never. He sleeps all night. He was very little work. For that stuff, he just did it. I mean, we put him in because he's 2. He just turned 2, and he is, this past summer we put him in a bed, and he doesn't come out in the middle of the night, and he doesn't wake up in the middle of the night. He just took to it. So, yeah, I mean, 8:30 is fine, right? 2:30, not so much. But I mean, it's all right. It happens. Um, if they're crying, if they're freaking out, you might want to like calm them first. You soothe them and calm them and make sure maybe they had a nightmare. And you get them back in their bed. Other times you can just put them back in. It's all everybody. People always want to ask. They always want to know like what's normal or what to do. And you know what? It really is situational because you don't know what happened. Pacifier. That was another one. We didn't have a hard time with any of my kids. All 4 of them. Pacifier was not a deal at all. Um, the 2 little ones never really took to it, like used it like religiously or anything. It just was never a thing. The older 2 was more of a common, kind of a more of the average kind of a thing. And it was easy. I mean, it just disappeared. It just kind of faded away, kind of a thing. So, um, but uses it to get to sleep. Yeah, that's pretty common. Um, and that will go. Some kids will go from the binky to the fingers. My brother did that. I have an older brother, and that's what he did. He ended up sucking his fingers for years. He did it until he was like 13 years old or some shit like that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's all kids are different. All the situations, like, you know, um, Damon tonight will probably sleep through the night. Um, and then end up in our room at like maybe 6 in the morning. But he could get up at 2. I mean, who knows? And the reason that he got up, it could be almost anything. It could have been a dream. It could have been he couldn't sleep. He could have heard a noise. I mean, who the hell knows, right? He could have wanted milk. Um, so like it's there is no one size fits all for any of it. There isn't. And anybody who tells you there is full of shit. Because I said so. I mean, I know part of my whole like journey with Peach when it comes to the kids was I went into this phase of parenthood with having already raised 2 kids. And I went into it with this attitude like, I know, you know, I'm the experienced parent. I know. Oh, God, no. No. It just don't work that way. It doesn't. That is not how it is. So it would be nice, but that's not what it is. Spencer uses it to get to sleep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Very cool. So what else is going on, people? Who's here? There's 2 people watching. God, I am such a loser. I am such a loser. I'm a loser. Hmm. All right. All right, all right, all right. Isn't that how it goes? All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. I yeah, that's it. Save, close. Okay. There's still 2 people watching. Really, there's still 2 people who give a shit what I have to say. That's wild. That all by itself is wild. Or maybe they don't give a shit what I have to say. Is everybody ready for Christmas? Everybody, as if there's a lot of people in here. I am not ready. I am most definitely not ready. I haven't gotten anything for Peach. I don't know what I'm gonna get for Peach. I was thinking I would maybe just like, I don't know, give her like a gift card for clothing. Peach does not spoil herself when it comes to clothing. I will. Oh my god. I'm like a shoes and a bag. That's me. I am that kind of girl. I am like, oh, shopping? Yeah, okay. I'm there. Just tell me when. Um I I have so much clothing that I never wear. I have clothing that I got that I liked when I bought it and never wore it. And it's all like from consignment. Most of it's from consignment. Because it's a lot cheaper. And I don't like it anymore, and I never wore it. I don't like it. I'm never gonna wear it. It doesn't fit me anymore because my body has changed over the course of the last 2 years. So it's like, but yeah, want to talk about shopping and clothing, and oh yeah, I'm there. I am down. But Peach doesn't do that, and she should. She should, because greed is good. No, I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm kidding. It's not that greed is good. It's just that she deserves it, and she deserves to spoil herself, and she deserves to wear nice clothing. She has earned it. So I don't know. I don't know. And I keep thinking I got time. I'll figure something out. I got time. I got time. Yeah, I don't have all that much time left anymore. It's getting close. So I don't know. We'll figure something out. I always do. I always do. What else? What else? Because, there's nothing going on in my life. It's the end of the day. So basically, it's what, 20 days? 20 days. So in 20 days from now is a pretty big day for me. Y'all aware of that? Did you guys know that? That I felt like this big thing kind of floating out there in my future, kind of hanging out. It's, kicking back and having a beer waiting for me in 20 days. Did you know that? Hey, am I still on? My YouTube went down. Is my internet's on? My internet's on. Well, I guess it's okay. I don't know what's happening here. Reload. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. My StreamYard seems to be fine. YouTube is saying it's not fine. So I don't know what's going on. And nobody's chatting, so I don't know if anybody can see me. So I don't know. I do not know. Oh, hey, baby. Yeah, because I have the StreamYard on one screen, I've got YouTube on the other, and YouTube is just a black screen with the buffer thing, and nobody is chatting. So I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck is in here. I have no idea what's going on. Nobody tells me anything. I'm all alone and in the dark. Yeah. It says there's 2 watching. I don't know, but it always says that. It said there was 2 watching before, and there were 4 people in the chat. So much for that. That doesn't mean anything anymore, apparently. And I thought Amber was still here. She didn't say goodbye or anything. We were talking about the kids, then poof, gone. What's going on, people? Where is everyone? Why is everyone? Let me shut some of these down. I got all kinds of shit open over here. What is this one? Yeah, I'll shut up. Fucking thing, get rid of that. This still isn't working. The internet in this house is so fucking strange. How can the internet be out on one but not the other? So fucking strange. So I sent an invite to Joe. He hasn't been online, so he hasn't seen it. I sent an invite to Autumn, and she said that she is in a meeting. Okay. I sent an invite to Agent of Doubt. He said he has to run over to his ex's house to pick up some stuff, and it'll be a couple of hours. And if I'm still on when he comes back, he'll jump on. Okay, fair enough. And that's it. That's it. And I'm trying to carry, or at least fill the time, talking to myself because nobody in the chat, if they're even there, is interacting. Now it only says one person watching. So, maybe it is just you. Or maybe there has been a nuclear war and we haven't gotten the news about it yet. I mean, it could happen. Anything is possible. So when I went and I got my hair today done, oh wow, there I am. I'm back. Wow. Okay then. When I went and I got my hair done, I was talking to the girl about my eyebrows, and I was complaining about having burnt eyebrows, and she laughed and she said, "You don't have burnt eyebrows." I said, "Yes, I do." And I said, I want to have more of an arch, and she said, "Well, the way your eyebrows are, if you want to have an arch, it's gonna mean, making them really thin." And that makes sense, right? Because you only have so much space to work with. Do you know what I mean? And she said, next time you go for a threading, don't just have them just do it. Just tell them you want to shape it. You want more of an arch, and they should be able to help you out. And I said, I didn't even think of that. I will do that. So the next time I go to Rockaway and I get them threaded, that's what I'll do. I'll see what she can do. Nobody uses YouTube to do these kinds of streams anymore. Yes, they do. They all the time. I've got a whole bunch of people that I'm subscribed to. They do these all the time. Well, they're actually using. They're not using well, it's still YouTube, but they're using other things. Like I use StreamYard, but it's still YouTube. They do the same thing. It's just not StreamYard. I'm just saying they use Twitch. Fuck Twitch. Oh, Shanny for Christ banned me on Twitch last night. I got banned by Shanny. Oh shit. Because I'm not a nice person. So check this out. So somebody bought them a pizza. Somebody bought them a pizza, which was, nice of whoever it was that bought them a pizza. Somebody bought them a pizza and it didn't have cheese. So somebody ordered a pizza and had it delivered to them, and it didn't have cheese. So they had a pizza without cheese, and apparently it had like hot peppers and stuff on it. Shani won't eat pizza without cheese. So she was so pissed off. So she's sitting there giving the pizza dirty looks while Rev is just shoving pizza down his fucking throat. It's like whole slices, like he was so happy that he was able to eat because, he didn't have to fight with her over the food. And I kept making comments. Right? It's just bread and sauce with toppings, but they had like hot peppers and stuff. Anyway, right? The whole point, the pizza was a troll, right? They bought a pizza for them that they knew she wouldn't eat. So Rev went to fucking town on it. And she's sitting there like all making faces at it as this dude, shoved his face. And I kept saying, making comments, and I was like, wow, look at Rev eat that pizza. You were blessed by God with a feast. Enjoy yourself, Rev. And she was getting all pissed off. She was like, why do these people keep saying that I don't feed you? This Raven J, she keeps talking like I don't allow you to eat. And I just kept making really rude comments, and she banned me. Apparently, I was perma-banned. Here. I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. And it is funny. So while I was on the goddamn podcast last night and we were streaming, they were streaming Shani's live stream. So we were all watching her Twitch show on YouTube while I was in her chat being a pain in the ass, trolling her. And TJ, when I got kicked out, TJ like lost his shit. It was fun. It was mean. It was mean, but it was fun. It was fun. What else is there to talk about? I don't know. I don't know if you could hear that. This is supposed to be noise canceling, and I don't know if you can hear the furnace or not. Can you hear that, love? I don't know if the lag is really bad or what. Holy shit. The noise faded out after a few seconds. It's weird. Oh my god. Sorry. Like, found this. Jesus. Okay. Jesus trusted the Bible, every word of it. He taught that the Bible was a unique book above all others. That is a quote from Pastor Rick Warren in 2013. So this clergyman apparently believes that Jesus believed in the book that was written after his death, and he taught it before he died. Because of course that's what he fucking believes. Of course. Of course. Wow. Fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. Where did all the good men go? We transitioned. No, not all of us were good men. I am like eating this crumb cake, like little crumbs at a time. Because that's what I do. I'm getting old. I am getting old. And I don't like it. Not even a little. Not even once. So, yeah. What else? What else? What else? I have no idea. You gotta wake up at 5. Go to bed. Have a good night. You gotta get up and make that salad, yo. You gotta make that salad so somebody will eat it. Probably won't be me, although it should be. It is what it is. Shit. God, the crumb part of this crumb cake is so good. I have to find something to watch on TV because, that's important shit right there. I don't know. I don't know. All the stuff that I liked, I've already watched some of it a couple of times. You want some cake? It's not bad stuff too. But I am just like going to town on it, little tiny pieces at a time. Shit. Getting little crumbs all over. This would be good with a cup of coffee. Yeah, that would be good. All right, let me close this again. I don't know. I am like running out of steam here. I am just over an hour. Nobody was able to come on tonight. I am running out of steam. I've stalled as much as I can. I'm even making you people watch me eat. Let's see what else is happening on the webs of the internet. Nothing. There's nothing happening on the internet. I have reached the end of the internet. There is nothing left to see. Huh. See, ain't nothing happening. To watching, because of course. Oh man, this is just too much. This is just too goddamn much. Or, or not enough. Man, I'm looking at that picture that I took today that I posted. The one that's closer up, I'm wearing the jacket. God, I'm getting old. I am getting old. Old. I am so old. I'm going to cry. All right. Well, I mean, not that that means anything. I cry every fucking day anyway, but, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm allowed not to like it. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Life is a beach. Life is a beach ball. I have to stop eating that. It's way too yummy. Oh, my internet was restored. I didn't know it was gone. Wow. That's fucking amazing. I don't know. I am like really trying here. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to talk about. Nobody's here. And for the couple of people who are here, I'm not saying that you're nobody. It's just, nobody is chatting. I need something to work with here. Throw me a bone. So the house next door is now empty. You can't see it, but right here, like 6 feet away, is a big window. And I can see the house next door. It's like up the hill. You can see the back of their house and the deck on the back of their house, right from where I'm sitting. Well, I can't see anything now because it's completely pitch black up there because the house is vacant. Um, Guy that lived there, he was there with his parents for a long time. They both passed over the course of the past year, 2 years. They both passed. So it was just him, and they sold the house, and he left the other day. He was a Trumper. Um, he wasn't a bad. I wouldn't even say he wasn't a bad person. He was kind of an ass. Um, but he didn't have a problem with us, you know. But I mean, yeah, not somebody I would want to hang out with. He also had a hard time remembering pronouns, and it was never malicious. You can always tell when it's somebody being an asshole. It was always like a legitimate slip. No, it was never meant to be disrespectful. He always corrected himself. He always apologized. Um, and he would always go out of his way to compliment how I was looking. And that's cool. But one day, while I was down here sitting in the chair, in front of the mirror, putting on a face, getting ready to either record a video or do a show. I might have been actually in the process of actually doing an actual show. And it was nighttime. And I look out the window and the guy's back porch light was on. And he was on his deck. And I look up and he's looking at me. And it's like, oh, okay, that's creepy. He's just standing on his deck looking in the window here. He's gone now, though. So we got two people watching still. One of them is probably Peach still. Because I am a loser. I am a loser with a capital L. Loser. I thought about, and I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea. I don't know. I thought about creating a new channel. Um, I don't know if it's, the DevShell 2 channel, which, I mean, I changed the name. It's now Raven J, but, as far as the algorithm is concerned, if it's like under a dark cloud, you know what I mean? Um, if I could get more attention if I made a whole new channel. And I thought about doing that, and I don't know, if I do that, I will change the name of this channel back to DevShell 2. So DevShell is still an entity that exists on the internet, I guess. Then I would just go ahead and make a new Raven J channel. I don't know. I don't know if I Actually, no. I mean, I do want to, stay on the internet and continue to do this kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I may end up doing it. Maybe, maybe. I don't know. So I don't know. I wish I could have found. I should have said something earlier to people about broadcasting and stuff. I should have said something earlier. Say, hey, I'm thinking about going on, but I just wasn't sure if I was going to or not. But this would have been a lot more fun if there was somebody else here. The lag in the chat, if there was a chat, um, it's just too long to make my style of broadcast. The thumbnail's going out to my subscribers. Like people who don't know me aren't getting it. All they have to see is that I'm on. The thumbnail shouldn't matter. Why would it matter? I don't understand why that would make a difference. I don't know. I don't know. I think if I had other people on, I don't want to spend time like putzing with thumbnails because I don't see how it matters. If I was making a video, like a video where there's like a topic and it's a video, I can see that. I can see how then it might be beneficial, to have a nice, but I don't know. You think? Maybe they do. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know. I just think if I had somebody like I don't mind the fact that there's only 2 or 3 people watching. What I mind is that I'm struggling to keep this going because I'm talking to air. Like the lag between the typing and what I see is so long that it becomes kind of pointless to try to conversate. So if I had somebody in here with me, and it doesn't matter to me if 2 or 3 people are watching and that's it. It's hard to try to like just keep going when there's nobody here. And it's just like, okay. I don't know. I do remember when I used to fill up a fucking chat room. Man, those days are long fucking gone. That was a long time ago. What is this? What is this? What is this? Oh, why did it take so long to get that? I got a notification from Amazon that they delivered my package. Oh, that was a while ago. What is going on here? Stop. Stop. No. No. I am so sorry. No. Oh my God. Ah, somebody just sent me a dick pic on Discord. Ah, I don't know. If you're watching, my brother in Christ, if you are watching, don't send that picture to people. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't. I could be wrong, but my opinion, I could be wrong. But what I believe is that picture isn't doing you any favors. I am so sorry. Oh shit. Wow. What the fuck? Thank
Hello, that was some greeting I got. And I come in and I hear, "Wow, what the fuck?" I'm like, "What did I do?"
you. Can hear you.
One sec.
Is it me or is it you? It's you?
Hmm.
You broke it.
Right now. What about now? Can you hear
You
me
can
now?
hear him? I can't hear him. Why can't I hear you? Oh, hang on.
Raven,
Let me
Raven,
see.
Raven, 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 Raven,
Audio.
Raven,
That's the
Raven,
mic.
Raven, Raven, Raven,
I
Raven,
want the
Raven.
mic.
Boop, boop, doop, boop,
I
doop, doop.
want the speakers. Huh.
Yeah, where's your audio going?
Why are my speakers not working? Wait. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I hear you now.
Ah, yeah, I came into the lobby and I heard, and it was like, you were like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, what did I do? I just got here.
Somebody sent me a dick pic on Discord. And
Was it impressive at least?
no, I know no, I don't know if you're watching. Like I said, my brother in Christ, if you're watching, don't send that picture to people. It is not helping.
Brother in Christ.
If it is helping, you got bigger problems than that picture.
Well, here's the thing that always gets me. Like, because I've asked a number of women, because most women that we know have received dick pics from at least one person, and I always ask, is like, did you ever get anyone that you're like, I don't want it, but that's interesting, and they're like, nah. So it's like, it's weird. So you think, like, if I was like, you know not not packing, anything, I don't think I'd be like, look at my tiny dick.
Yeah, I have no idea what why I don't know. I mean, I've gotten dick pics and I'm like, oh, okay, like sometimes it's like, oh, I don't want to see this, but okay, that's interesting. Other
Yeah,
times it's like, wow, that's actually wow, you
impressive.
know.
Yeah,
Um, but
you should show that off more of it.
yeah, right. But this one was just like, you're not helping yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Why?
need, yeah. If that's what you're carrying, you need to lead with your personality, and
Yeah,
yeah. So, women will put up a lot. They'll put up with one that's not amazing if you
you
bring
know,
something else to the
yeah.
table.
Like in most cases, hello is going to work better than a dick pic. In this case, it's definite that it's going to work better.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh man, guys are so
Um,
stupid. No, and here's the thing: I would say to anyone who doesn't understand, like, not that I don't, I've never felt the dysmorphia, so or it's not something I can relate to, but the way I always say to any cis guys who just really just can't wrap their head around it, like, look, it, you know, guys, we suck, we're horrible, and who wouldn't want to escape, being this, you know.
um, that's a little harsh.
No, but here's the thing, even the, I have my guy friends that are that I've known for a long time, and and I'm very tight with. But beyond the circle of men that are friends of mine, I generally have contempt toward men. I really do. I really do. I always have. Um, and so, and I guess I don't know if it was maybe because my life has always been, women have always been a big part of it. Like, I was raised with my grandma. My grandfather was there, but he didn't participate as much, and so it was really more my grandmother and my aunts, and occasionally my mom, and so it was just like, yeah, and I prefer women friends, um, and it's not that like I said, obviously I have good, real, excellent men friends, but they're about the limit of the men that I can tolerate on earth.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do. I know what you mean. Um, it is what it is.
Says, "So how are you tonight?"
I'm okay. I was like I said when I started the show at the beginning, I was like, I was feeling cute, so I figured I would broadcast.
Hmm.
I went and I had my hair done today, and I was just very happy with it.
Oh,
So I
Pete,
wanted to
Pete
show off.
says you don't know how to computer.
I don't know how to computer. I don't. Um, yeah,
Peach knows how to computer.
Peach knows how to computer. Yeah, but I can cook. So
Yeah, there you go. I made chicken paprikash tonight.
you made what?
Chicken paprikash.
What is that?
Some people know it as chicken paprika. It's
Okay.
a Hungary. It's a Middle
Mhm.
European dish. The original is Hungarian, although I made the Austrian version. But they're very similar.
Okay. Cool.
Although my friend Todd, who's Hungarian, he insists no tomatoes in the paprikash. Although I've seen Hungarian recipes from Hungarian cooks put tomatoes in it. So I think he didn't have it in originally, and then at some point,
Well, yeah, I was because I was gonna say, I mean, a lot of actually not a lot, all European food originally had no tomatoes
right,
because they're native to the states. So
right, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a crop of the Americas. That's the thing.
it's one of the things. That's one of the things that, like, that almost immediately transformed Europe. Was tomatoes and potatoes.
Mm,
Like Italian cuisine. Italian cuisine, right, can only be as old as the Americas. As far as the Europeans had found us, it can't be any older.
right.
Definitionally can't, because the necessary ingredients didn't exist.
Corn also. Corn's from the Americas.
Right, corn, but there's not a whole lot of corn in European food that I'm aware of.
Not nowhere near as much as us, for sure.
But like, but
It's starting to.
potatoes, but potatoes are like French fries, right? The quintessential American food is from Belgium, right? But again, like the main ingredient,
Right, but
the
yeah,
the only basic ingredient really, is from Central America.
yeah, exactly. And it's kind of funny when you think about it. Well, think about Indian food, right? I mean, there's so many Indian dishes that are tomato based,
Yeah.
and what were they before? And
Yeah, what were they? The fuck were these people? What were they eating? I
yeah,
mean, what were the Indians eating? What were the Italians eating? What?
well, this is why I laugh. I was I don't know if you know Fabio Andreziozzi. He's a YouTuber. He mostly doesn't really do videos anymore. He mostly just shows the Chris Maladies hangouts. But Fabio's a great guy. He's an Italian guy. He's from like like the North Central area, but he's very down on American Italian food. Italian American food. And he talks about like the proper Italian food. I'm like, look, buddy, tomatoes didn't fucking exist in your country until
Yeah.
like 300 years ago or so. Everything you have is all
Right. So I mean, like, yeah, the vast majority of Italian food, that is like
at least the southern food anyway.
signature Italian food, right? Things that we know, that most of the world identifies with Italian food is American at its core.
Right. That's the thing. It's yeah, I mean, in the north you'll find more oil and cheese based sauces, and those have been around for a long time.
Right.
But yeah, but because that's because tomatoes don't grow in the cold weather, so but yeah, most of it is Southern Italy, Italian, and it comes from ingredients from North America. Well, this is
Yeah.
I saw a good video several months back, and it was say she's a Chinese woman who lives in Canada.
Okay.
And she was doing a video about Chinese food in the Chinese diaspora, and basically making the point that the Chinese food from the Americas,
Right.
people say, oh, it's fake Chinese food. She's like, no, it's not. It's made by Chinese people elsewhere because they didn't have the ingredients from home, and so they made do. And especially it was interesting, she gave part of the history, and I'd heard some of this before. How when Chinese rail workers were coming over in the 1800s to build a railroad, it was mostly men coming over, very few women. So what ended up happening is the first Chinese restaurants were basically Chinese men selling to other Chinese men, because most of these guys didn't, they never learned how to cook. They didn't have wives, so there was no one to cook for them. So they would just go down to the corner place, and somebody there would cook up a bunch of stuff with whatever ingredients they could get, and try to make something similar to home.
Right.
And then eventually evolved into a cuisine in and of itself. So she's like, yes, it's Chinese food. It's not from China, but it's from Chinese people, so it's still Chinese food. And
So
like,
therefore, it's Chinese food, which makes sense.
right. So I told that to Fabio. I'm like, well, like Italian American food. It's not the same as what you eat, but it's still Italian food. It's Italian. It's Italian because basically it was born in the same thing. You had there was a depression in Europe in like the late 1800s, so a lot of Italians came, and then after World War I, a whole bunch more Italians came, and Sicilians, and they brought their various things. And what's kind of cool is a lot of the reason why a lot of Italian American food is fairly different than what's back home. It's not the lack of the availability of ingredients, because as you point out, the ingredients all came from here anyway. But what it really comes down to is that you'd have these neighborhoods that were integrated of various people from various parts of Italy, whereas in Italy, you're in Calabria, you're in Romagna, Emilia Romagna region, you're in Sicily, whatever, and they're kind of insular regions, and people don't really travel, at least didn't really travel. So you get local food cultures, and then you've got all these people in like places like New York City and Boston and Chicago, and they would, because they anyone who spoke some version of Italian would kind of congregate together. The food cultures from the various regions of Italy would cross pollinate.
Right.
And you created a new version of Italian food.
Right. The language did the same thing.
Right.
That's why New Jersey Italian is actually closer to the Italian that was spoken by the immigrants when they came over, because since then, Italy became a unified country that adopted a unified language.
Right. Yeah.
Most at the time.
Yeah. Most of what we have here is Sicilian, or Tenebruzzo, from Tenebruzzo, or like Tenebruzzo or something like that. I think Abruzzi. So yeah, and so basically it's kind of like country, like countrified people. So they had like kind of So that's why we have Pazoo and Gabagoo and
right. My ex-wife's grandmother, she used to say like mozzarella.
Right.
And the vowel at the end was dropped, and it was a lot of the words, but mozzarella was the one that kind of like sticks out the most because she was always cooking and she said a lot, but there was rogot. Gabagool, mozzarella.
It was funny. What was it?
I don't know.
Managot.
Managot.
Because it was funny. One of my roommates when I was in college, he was from Italy. He was born in Sicily. He lived in Sicily till he was about 7. Then they moved to the Emilia Romagna region, and he said because he had he spoke a Sicilian dialect, and of course Roman is considered like the ultimate Italian language.
Right.
So that basically, he said people used to treat him horribly and tease him mercilessly because he spoke this to them bastardized version of the language. So then he learned to speak the way they did, so they would stop kicking the shit out of him.
Right.
And then he moved to the United States. So he had been half his life in New Jersey and half his life in Italy. And my fraternity was like probably about 40% Italian American. And so it was funny one day. I remember these Italian guys in the house were arguing over how what ingredients did or did not belong in certain dishes and how to save them and all this kind of and then he pipes up. He's like, "Oh, you fuckers!" He says, "I'm from there, man." He says, "It's not Manago. It's Manago. It's Manacotti, Manacotti." But he said, "Yeah." He said where I grew up. He said Managot also. So yeah, it's right from Sicily.
Yeah, that's for most words. They dropped that last vowel, and then the Roman Italian, is what they based the unified language on, what they decided. I mean, it really seems like very just like, what's the word I'm thinking of? It just
arbitrary.
Yeah, it was just an arbitrary decision. It was just like, well, Rome, that what they speak in Rome, that's the real Italian. And
that's where the seat of power was, right? That was the most prosperous region, so they got to dictate the terms,
Yeah, but it's like, what about the rest of the Italians? They're walking around going, "I don't speak Italian."
Similar thing happened in Germany. I mean, basically, Germany as a standalone nation didn't really exist until fairly recently,
Yeah.
and you had a bunch of different states, then there was
Well, I mean,
there's Prussia
The Holy Roman Empire
was Germanic,
wasn't
that's right.
holy. It wasn't Roman. It
Well,
wasn't
yeah,
an
it wasn't an
empire.
empire. And then you ended up with Prussia and various incarnations of Prussia, some of which was
Right.
Polish and some of it was German and all over the place. Um, but basically was Hitler, basically the Nazis actually are the ones that standardized the language. They're like, yeah, we're throwing out all these regional shit and we're gonna come out with a unified language. Now they have their textbook German, although quite frankly, the regional dialects didn't go away. They're still there.
Right. Right. I mean, the
So
same with Italy, though. I mean, they're still, I think, and I don't know, but I think from what I understand, as a nation, they've become really good at, communicating under one language. But again, if you go to Sicily, they're dropping the vowels.
well,
It's just the way they speak.
you were involved with a relationship with a Puerto Rican person for a long time. Same thing, man. Swallowed S's in the middle
Yes.
and the end of words. Like so, it's not Carlos, it's Carlos.
Go.
Yeah,
And yeah, and that's at the end. And if it's in the middle of the word, a lot of times it turned into a
Yeah.
Wasn't an S anymore. It was a TH. It was just a
Right.
And listening to him speak quickly was very confusing because I never really learned. I would pick up as I went. So trying to learn when somebody's speaking it
differently.
incorrectly, it was hard, especially when it was, it's just like that's not even a sound in your language. Why are you doing it?
Well, apparently the Spanish they speak in Puerto Rico is actually based on Castilian.
Castilian, yeah.
And what's interesting about Castilian, I didn't realize that somebody told me this, and I thought it was bullshit, and I looked it up. So at one point, there was a Spanish king who had a lisp, and so he had a hard time saying cerveza, and so rather than and he was a popular king, so rather than make him feel bad, everyone started saying the way he did.
Wow.
And so that's why there's the difference. That's why not all of the Spanish world speaks it, because the people who had emigrated away before that happened still retained the hard S, and the people who came after were the soft F.
Wow. See, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. That explains it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember which monarch it was, but it was but yeah, somebody told me that. I'm like, it sounded like bullshit, and I was like, looked it up. I'm like, oh wow, it's real.
He used to get going, and it was like, it's like, what is that? It's like that couldn't be right.
One time I was working in Puerto Rico, and it was dinner time, and I'm out at a restaurant. The place I was staying was like, it was like kind of a collection of condos / villas, and then they rented them out when people who owned them would rent them out. So
gated community.
Yeah. And so within this huge compound, there were restaurants. There were like 7 restaurants. So I was at the Italian restaurant, and that I used to like to go to. And one day I'm in there like a Tuesday night, so it's fairly dead. No one's there. There's me and there's this other guy, and he's sitting like table next to mine. And so because it's quiet, I could hear his conversation, and I could understand what he was saying. And I'm like, so he gets off the phone. I'm like, excuse me, sir, I want to ask you where you're from, only because, I know you're not from here. And he goes, yeah, you're right. How'd you know that? And I said, well, because I could understand every word you said. I said, the people around here, they talk so fast, and and like you said, they pronounce it differently, and it's just like,
When Ozzy would like talk to his friends, and he was, in Spanish. I mean, he did the lisp. And he would talk very quickly, and his voice would go up, like the pitch would raise, and it's just like, why are you talking like you're on helium 1,000,000 miles an hour with a lisp?
Apparently, raising the pitch helps with the cadence.
I guess I don't, because he's not the only one. I've noticed other Puerto Ricans do it, and once they get going, and if they're just speaking kind of slowly or whatever, and then. They don't do it, but when they start speaking quick, the pitch goes up.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like on a record. Remember the old record players? If you go from 33 to 45, and it goes, yeah.
All of a sudden, it's Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. I always had a hard time. That's what, and I for a while there when I was, because I took Spanish in high school, and when I was trying to remember it. So what I started doing was I started watching um, Spanish soaps, and they were usually in like either Dominicans or Puerto Ricans speaking. I'm like, well, if I can understand these guys, I'll be fine because if I can get past this, because it's really super fast. One thing I noticed, speaking of dialects, remember Mike was giving me shit because when I said how the Russian, if you didn't, you don't know the words, but you hear the cadence and it's very like I call it like marbly mouth, like
Yeah.
I noticed that Ukrainian, which obviously it's not identical language, it's a similar language, but it's not identical. There's probably like 70% commonality, but they don't speak with that closed rule like mouth, like drawn mouth. There the mouth is wide, so it's like the yes. It's very yeah, very open mouth, uh, uh, and so it has a completely different. So I can actually tell now when I hear someone speaking. I
You
got
can tell
probably
the
80%
difference between
of telling if
Ukrainian and
they're
Russian.
Ukrainian or
Yeah,
Russian.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to tell.
I don't know what the
That's
fuck they're
pretty neat
saying,
though,
but
but I wouldn't be able to tell.
yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but I can tell who they are.
I used to watch when I was with Ozzy. I used to watch because he had Spanish TV. It was on his house all the time. And do you remember the TV show Ugly Betty?
Yes.
That was an American version of the Spanish show Betty La Fea.
Oh,
So
okay. I didn't know that.
years before Ugly Betty came on, I used to watch Betty La Fea.
Okay.
And then there was another one was Muñeca Brava. Um, that was actually it was in one of those soaps, and it was I used to watch it all the time. I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on, but I watched it. And then there were others that were like Portuguese, that were like um 17th century, European, high fashion with the big hair and the gowns, and everybody was dressed like that. And I'm like, I have no idea what they're saying. I have no idea what they're doing, but everybody looks fabulous.
Yeah. Probably all Brazilians.
Yeah. It's like, the fuck? Yeah, it was weird stuff. Weird stuff.
Well,
But I mean,
well, those are again two languages like Portuguese and Spanish. Again, word commonality. It's about 70%, but
yeah,
it's pronounced. They're pronounced a lot the letters differently. So
yeah,
you don't know. So if you don't know the difference in pronunciation, you'd be totally lost.
right. So like even like me watching some of the Brazilian shows, it was like I could pick out some of the words. And then others would be like, I don't think that's a sound that exists in Spanish. I don't know what I'm watching. It's like all of a sudden it was Martian. It was like I'm watching. And go, okay, I got it. I got. What the fuck was that? I used to holler to him. I was like, Baldo, they're speaking two different languages. I have no idea what's going on. He's like, it's Portuguese, idiot. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's funny.
So I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I
I
barely speak English.
a couple years ago, like early in the pandemic, I was like, kind of, obviously we had a lot of free time. Things were not moving, and so I got, part of my ancestry is Hungarian, and so I was curious. I was like, yeah, I'm curious to look into the Hungarian language to see if I can learn, a little bit because I want to go there at some point. Oh my god, it is a fucking hard language to learn.
Oh yeah.
Because like it has all the features of Latin and then more and then some. So like just say like okay with us, just say I don't know ball. Well, ball doesn't change whether it's moving, stopping, whatever in motion, whatever. For them, they have all these like case endings to nouns. So, like, how to say girl will change whether it's he's the object of the sentence or subject of the sentence, and whether it's accusative and dative and nominative and all this. Like, oh my god, like, and then like the Latin has all of that, and then it had a whole bunch of shit that extra that Latin doesn't even have. Like, oh my god, because it's not a Latin language. It's part of the Ugro-Finnic, so it's actually more similar to Finnish and Estonian and stuff.
And too bad Lily isn't in here. I mean, I saw a video once they were talking about like Chinese and translating stuff to Chinese. And they're like, you can't say in Chinese, in any of the languages or dialects of China, that you can't say I am going to the store. There is no direct translation.
Right.
Everything becomes today, right? It's like, so everything is based in like now. There's like yesterday and now and tomorrow, but like a direct action, you can't. It doesn't go that way. You have to go all the way around.
I go store now. I go store tomorrow. Yesterday.
Yeah, whatever it is, and it's just like, oh fuck, who needs all that? No, oh no. I like I said, I barely speak English. I would not even want to. No, fuck that. They can keep it.
What's funny in German? German is kind of similar. Like okay, for them, like, so am going. That's actually two verbs to them. Like, we don't really treat it like it, but it is.
Right.
And so they have to conjugate it and all that. But like, basically the way that they make something past tense is what you do is you take some form of the verb be or something related to that, and then you take the second verb, and then that is usually, it's either you put a ge at the beginning of it or a ver, depending on the part of speech. And so it's kind of funny. I remember when I was in the German baseball league, they told me that, like, they tried to, when baseball started to get a little bit of popularity in Germany, they tried to give it uniquely German terms because that's what they tend to do, but none of it worked. So they just started like Germanizing English words. So they would say that somebody was getraded. They needed that ge to begin to denote that it was past tense.
Wow.
Which is funny because, and the thing is, they don't have, generally verbs don't end with an ed, it would end with an en or something like that. But they just traded and put go, and then like, yeah, it's a German word now.
It's actually funny.
And they, at first, they didn't like to use the word bases because it has the word base has a different connotation. So they couldn't use the German word for base because it didn't make sense. But then they changed it to kissen, which is pillow, and that was just silly. So eventually they just started calling it base in English. It's usually the English word.
Yeah, I mean, base in English has different connotations too.
Right.
I saw a thing that was a meme, and it was saying that there's a teacher talking to his class, saying that in English, two negatives make a positive. But it doesn't hold true in Russia. In Russia, two negatives is still a negative. But there's nowhere in any language on earth where two positives make a negative. And when the students said, yeah, right. I was like, that's pretty good and accurate.
Well, that was something I saw recently. Somebody was talking about like how when this thing we'll do in English where we say two words like that, one's a positive, one's a negative, and the second one is the one that actually denotes the actual, whether it's a positive, so you say like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Or like no, yeah. Or like no, yeah. If you say no, yeah is what matters. Yeah, right. No, it's like, you're not saying yes, you're saying no.
American English especially is weird.
Well, see, here the funny thing is about it, though, even though, I mean, the hardest part with English really is if for a new speaker, there's two things that usually trip people up. One is that there's no consistency to how the letters are pronounced. In practically every other language in the world, if you see an A, it's pronounced the same way, and it might vary a little bit. Like you'll either have a mark on it, or it may follow a certain letter, and that will change it. But there's very few rules that would alter the pronunciation of a particular letter.
Right.
In English, we have so many damn borrow words from other languages that we just took and just pronounce them the same damn way, or similar to the way it was in the original language. So that's why you end up with like, like I'm sure you've had teachers do the whole thing of writing GHOTI and say, oh, it's fish, because GH is like, the F sound like in cough.
Oh yeah.
And O it's like sound like in women, and TI like like something like action. So therefore that's fish, and they're being glib, and kind of annoys me. But the point is that there's no consistency in the letters. The other thing that fucks people up is that most other languages don't have articles. So like the chair or a chair, or they don't distinguish between the two. They just and
Right.
if I know, like especially East Indians, like Hindi does not have articles at all. So you'll hear someone who from India, and they'll just leave the articles out because they're not used to them. They don't have it in
Right.
their language.
Right. Chair.
Yeah, I sit chair or I sit
Yeah.
in chair. You know, um,
I used to, like, when I first started, because like the way American English has developed, I think mostly because of the U.S. being a military and business,
hub.
just a center of commerce and industry and military and everything else for the entire planet. The language has developed in a way that is very specific with certain things. Like there's a degree of specificity you can get in English that other languages don't seem to have.
Yeah.
And the first and only language I had any real context and access and use with is Spanish. And when I started to learn Spanish from Ozzy, I noticed quickly that it doesn't have the same kind of specific nature to it. It's not real far off. I know there are others, like you're saying about, like, India with not having articles, right? It's even less specific.
Right.
But I mean, like, English has a really narrows down on things and get very granular, which is good and bad. And Spanish doesn't have it. And I remember learning, Spanish and thinking, wow, what a primitive language. And then I was thinking, wow, that's kind of racist.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, most other languages, when they borrow, because every language borrows words or concepts from other languages, but they generally try to tailor those things to their own language. Whereas English is just hodgepodge of all these different things.
Yeah.
And what it does is it actually provides a lot of layers and subtlety that you don't, like you say, you don't get. And so we English has more words, like there's over 600,000 words in English. And I think the next closest language has like 200,000.
Right. And growing and growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, the English language, the quirks of it aside, it's actually fairly easy because we have the fewest conjugations of any language. You think about, okay, Spanish, you think of, yo soy, tú eres, somos, son,
Right.
So there's all this, I am, you are, they are, she is, that's it. There's three. And I was looking at a thing, and that's the thing too. A lot of languages have two versions of to be, right?
Of everything, because of gender. It's very gendered languages.
Well,
In English,
even beyond that, you have Sarah in Spanish. You have Sarah and a star, right? So you basically, one is of like a kind of permanent feature attributes, and one others is are temporary ones, temporal ones. We don't have the distinction in English. We just have to be. That's it.
right.
And I was looking at this thing some time ago. I was looking up stuff about Old English, and I realized there was a pattern because English had all the same features that all those other languages had, the Latin had and German had and everything. But over time, things started popping off, and what basically had ended up happening in English is that the third person singular conjugation became the one for all singular, or almost all the singulars, and then the third person plural became. So we with the exception of we kept the I, but basically, so they are, we are, there's no distinction, right? It's all just are.
Right.
He is, she is, they, well, they is plural.
Right.
Right. So basically, everything got condensed down from six possible combinations to 3.
Right.
And it was consistent with the way it was in Old English, which is kind of cool. But
well, I mean, that kind of goes to what I was saying before, though, right? As English was gaining popularity and went from the language of the common people and eventually started replacing French as the language of royalty, right? It began to grow. It began to simplify in certain ways to make it more friendly to those who were speaking. Right. And as it spread, it then had to change again, and more so because it was adding new words, like you had said. It was, like some of the words that we use for some of our food is actually derived from the French words.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So it's like
pork, beef, hen.
Yeah.
No, sorry, it was poultry. Poultry comes from French.
Right. So yeah, the beef and the pork I do, right? That's because in English it's pig and cow.
Right.
But in French it's those words are based on the French.
Right.
So it's like as the language grew, because it had to appeal to more people.
Right.
And then we just started adding words like email.
Well, and that was something that I remember, like several years ago. Like France has this institution that basically their job is to try to keep the language, quote unquote, pure. So that basically when new terms come in, they're trying to avoid borrow words and taking the concepts and using French words to describe them.
Right.
But basically, no matter how hard they tried to outlaw email, and French speakers were like, fuck you. Because otherwise, because the official term was like, 4 or 5 letter words long, and they're like, fighting email.
For what purpose? For what purpose? Electronically sent message, right?
And that's literally what it was. And because they're thinking the whole point of email is that it's fast, right? Where you're taking longer to tell me say the word than it takes me to write the goddamn email.
Right. And I mean, I had read years ago that French was in trouble as a language because it was no longer growing.
Right.
That it was on the verge of becoming not a dead language, but a stagnant language.
Right.
And I thought that was interesting. I didn't really care at the time. Don't really care now. I mean, it's not like there are no French speakers in the world, so it's not like it's going to just disappear.
Right.
I mean, it just isn't growing.
Well, see, the funny thing is that because obviously French is spoken in Africa, it's spoken in the Mediterranean. I mean, not Mediterranean, Caribbean. So,
Canada.
So, Canada. So what ends up happening is that the French within France has become stolid because for the reason, like you said, they have these institutions saying, no, we can't change the language. And outside of France, where people don't have the same hang up over it, so the French language, and that's the reason why, you have all these different dialects of French, right? Because they've all evolved away from the mother tongue.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Shit like that, I find that's like kind of stuff interesting. See, this for those of you, the 2 people who are watching, this is so much better than me looking at the camera going,
yeah, look at me.
I had my hair done today.
Yeah, I mean, I love I love languages and food. So of course that's what's cool. Because
they link so beautifully too.
Right, because they're both a function of the culture of the people who create them, right?
Was it you or me?
That was me.
That was you, right? Yeah. Sometimes I can't tell because I've got multiple monitors with multiple.
Yeah, me too. I always laugh because, like, I remember there's been a number of people I told, "Hey, I got 3 monitors," and they're like, "3 monitors? What do you do with 3 monitors?" Like, what do I do? Shit, if I had room for 6, I'd have 6. Believe me, 3 is not enough for what I do.
I've only got the 2, and then there's the because I don't have a computer tower. I got 2 monitors that are coming off of a laptop, and the laptop is closed, so it's acting as the tower.
Right.
I wish I prefer a computer tower. Like this to me is a pain in the ass. This is like all rigged up in a way that I feel like is unnecessary. Like if I just had a decent tower,
right?
Like when the power goes out, sometimes one of the monitors won't come on. I got to fight with the laptop to get it going again. The tower, you just hit the button.
Right.
Yeah, I like simple. I like things to be very simplistic and streamlined. I was trying to plug in headphones last night, and I'm looking all over the place on this fucking laptop. I'm trying not to pick it up because it's in a dock. And if it comes out of the dock, it gets to be a pain in the ass again. And like Pete said, I don't know how to computer. So,
well, one thing that might be handy is a short USB extender. So you plug the extender into the dock, and then
I can always find it. Yeah.
Right, then you can always find it, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I computer.
I don't know. I would like to get I'd like to get a nice Alienware tower. A kick-ass kind of, I want to put 9 monitors on it, 15 speakers, and take over the world.
Well, see, one thing I need, I might be able to help, not right away, but I've got my I've got my alien tower, but I don't have my old one, and then my older one, Suzanne has, and it works fine. I'm. But the thing is, because of the nature of the work I do, I need like latest and greatest most of the time. So I'll buy a new computer like every other year, and then eventually like I'll cast up. And the only reason why this is still here is because I've been lazy. Because I basically need to do a factory reset, and then I can set it up for Suzanne, and then I can do a factory reset on hers, and then I can give that to somebody.
You see my two buddies here?
I do.
They're just hanging out.
The one thing I did do with her is I upgraded the video cards.
I had a tower. I had it for a long time. I got it from, it was a gift from Josh Soroka. ZZZ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a gift. I got that from him, and I had it a long time, and eventually it crapped out. I still have it. It's over there somewhere. Oh no, it's over here. I still have it. It crashes. I can start it up and it'll run, and then as soon as I try to access files or whatever, it just fucking crashes. So like fuck it. So
well, I mean, it may just need a fresh install of the operating system. Is it Windows 10?
Yeah.
That should be fairly easy to rebuild.
It's all right. About a year ago, I guess it was, I switched over to this rig that I'm using now that Peach had set up for me. Because I kept saying, oh man, I want to get a tower. I want to get a tower. She's like, just use a laptop. I'm like, I don't want to use a laptop. I want to set up my desk with a monitor and the keyboard. And she's like, no. Just plug all that stuff into the laptop. I'm like, no.
I mean, laptops have come fairly far, but they're still they'll never match the performance of a desktop. Tower.
That's what I'm saying.
They come a lot closer than they used to, but the thing is that to get the same kind of performance you can for the cost of like a $600 to $1,000 tower, you're talking about a $2,500 laptop.
Yeah. So I don't know. I want some hardcore Alienware shit that I can
Well, the other thing that's nice about a tower too is like, okay, when your video card becomes obsolete, you go buy a new video card and you swap it out, and you're good. You're off to the races again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a certain amount of stuff with laptops I think you can do too.
To a degree,
depending on the laptop.
Limited, though.
Yeah. So, Agent of Doubt, there he is. I guess that was his microwave I heard. What are you eating? What you got there, Mike?
Joe Spice.
Ah.
He sent
Are you going to eat it with a spoon?
What?
You're going to eat it with a spoon?
Well, yeah, a spoon that's in my my soup.
What are you looking at? Do you have the camera? Do you have the camera here and your computer over here?
You guys were talking about screen setups, right?
Yeah.
So now I just moved you over to this screen so I can look at you right there.
I got you. You're everywhere. So you're like us.
I'm kind of everywhere around the room right now. I have another screen that I want to set up over there. It's kind of turn around, but I'm still setting this place up.
I see. So that way, what you can do if you wanted to is you'll have screens all over the room, and you'll have porn going on all of them. I know what you're doing.
Yeah. You can buy these giant tubes of Tootsie Rolls for Christmas presents.
I know that now.
And they can hide other things as well.
Like a salami? They hide the salami?
I was going to say Twizzlers, but
Sour Punch Twists and Airheads.
Oh, you can put posters in there. Roll them up.
Yeah, posters would fit. Yes. I'm always trying to think of what would people not suspect a dildo would pop out of.
I was going to say a pop out snake come out of one.
We could say snake. Is this a PG-13 stream?
It's my stream. What do you think?
It's a snake.
It's a
snaky snake.
It's a snake.
We're doing the character Stuart from Mad TV. It could be a sneaky snake.
Hmm.
Hey, I want to say something. Now that we're like live streaming, there's other people here that can like, argue with me if they want or agree if they want. Let me say to anybody who might be watching somewhere in the world, Brittany Griner isn't some stoner. She's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. And I don't know. I mean, I don't personally give a shit about somebody being an Olympian or
Listen.
an athlete. But we used to treat those people like they were heroes.
Well,
So-
she's dark and gay, so
I mean, that's the thing. That's the only thing that I can think of. I mean, I've a friend on Facebook. He's a douchebag that I went to school with. He was a douchebag then, he's a douchebag now. And he posted something like going on and on and on about what a terrible deal this was. And so suddenly he's like an expert in international hostage negotiation. Right? Motherfucker who, could barely pass math. He's now an expert in hostage negotiations. And this was such a terrible deal. When we left the Whalen guy there and we brought home some stoner, the motherfucker said some stoner. And it's just like, you mean the gold medalist, the hero, the Olympian?
Yeah.
That one.
the
We should have brought home the guy who was discharged in disgrace.
right.
I don't get me wrong. We should bring him home. He's an American citizen. But, you have a choice. Are you going to bring home the hero or the guy who was kicked out of the military?
Right. I mean, it's funny. You mean the guy that Trump made no effort whatsoever to get back? The whole time he was in office. That guy.
Yep.
And the thing is, it just goes to show the right wing only uses the military people as a prop. You would hope most of them would like wake up to it. That it's just it's just when it's convenient. And quite frankly, because he, look at the charges, right? She was accused of having an illegal substance. He was accused of espionage. Of course, you're going to want. And that guy that we gave up, he was due to get out in under 60 years or fewer anyway.
So here's the thing: is like Whalen was arrested with a thumb drive that contained the names of people from the CIA.
Right.
What the fuck was he doing with the thumb drive? If he's innocent, and again, I'm not saying he belongs there. I'm not saying he's even guilty of anything. I'm just asking. I hate to be that person, but I'm just asking.
Well, and the thing about it is, you think about it. I mean, so because it really doesn't look good for him. Not only because it looked like he could have been involved in espionage against Russia, which I wouldn't mind if he was, but it sounds like he could be doing something shady against America too.
Yeah, and that could be why they were like, "That's okay. We'll take the basketball player."
Right.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
I know that people don't agree with a lot of the things that I say, even though I am an expert.
I disagree
on
completely.
some substances.
I disagree completely.
Cannabis is a performance-enhancing drug and has been used by the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger for bodybuilding, right? It has sterols. So I want you to look at the case of Michael Phelps and realize that even Michael Phelps was a giant fucking stoner. Brittany Griner, probably really good at being a giant fucking stoner. Doesn't matter. But yeah, she qualifies.
I like what Eddie Izzard said about that whole thing about how marijuana is banned in sports, like that performance enhancing drug that lets you come in last in a race of 839 people who are all dead.
The performance enhancing. Well, I don't know. What is the performance? Like sleeping?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Pie,
If
pie
you,
eating. I mean,
if you run races and you're a pot smoker, you should get it, and you win, you should get extra medals. Like how the fuck did you do that? That'd be like running a race with a lead weights tied around your ankles, and you still fucking won.
You're
I was in a
laughing,
race.
but
Hey,
the
man, I was
best
in a race.
bodybuilder you know, the most popular bodybuilder you know is Arnold Schwarzenegger. The person who's won the most gold medals that you know is Michael Phelps. And the only WNBA player that most people know right now is Brittany Griner. All three fucking potheads.
Well,
Okay, but I see a correlation.
but that
I
doesn't
don't
equal causation.
I mean, so they smoke pot, therefore pot is performance enhancing. I don't see the connection.
It has plant sterols in it that help people with bodybuilding. It's been known for a long time, but it's usually used in the off season as part of their cycle. And then during the regular season, they're tested so they don't take it.
Most people smoke marijuana because they get high. Some people smoke marijuana or use marijuana for pain killing.
Yeah.
Because it does. I mean, it's not like really effective, but it does have some pain killing.
People at that level of performance have a lot of anxiety. They use it to kill their anxiety in the off season.
Okay.
Well,
so
right, but that doesn't make their muscles work better.
No, but it improves their performance by
State of
taking away
mind.
their anxieties.
that's state of mind, though.
Yeah.
They can meditate and do the same thing.
They could, but they're using a plant that we haven't figured out a way to tax properly yet. So, fuck.
Yeah, we have. Look at Colorado.
Look at Colorado and California
You live there.
and New Jersey.
We're still working on that shit. We still have to have like referendums to our people saying, hey, we made too much money off pot. Can we spend this money? Can we give it to the schools? We have to actually vote on this shit because we make too much money off our pot.
That's hilarious. What are we gonna do with all this pot money?
Exactly what we fucking intended in the first place, but we have to like have referendums. Anytime we make too much, we have to say, can we still spend it?
Yeah, see, New Jersey doesn't have that kind of hang up. We're just like, hey, let's get some money in. New Jersey would tax you on like taking your glasses off and putting them on again if they could find a way to keep track.
So here's the, like in New Jersey, there are certain like modes of selling marijuana that aren't legal or they haven't given licenses for yet. And one of them is like mobile sales, right? If you like, there's like these vans. One is called the Bud Bus, and it's big purple and yellow. And they drive around and they park on the side of the road and they sell pot through the window, right? There's no license for that in this state. So they are not legally selling pot, but they do it all over the place and they don't hide it because the fine is so small that it's just a cost of doing business. Nobody's getting arrested. They just get
the Brittany Griner deal. There's a larger context, right? Look, we have an open line for communication for trading one prisoner for one prisoner. And that is fucking awesome to test that we can actually call and trade one prisoner for, I don't care which prisoner it is. I think we should trade a prisoner every day. Right now, every fucking day. Because if we lose those back channels of communication where we can trade prisoners, that means we're probably headed to nuclear war. Because there's an actual real chance that we're headed towards nuclear war. And I want these channels open. So whether or not we got a good deal or bad deal for Brittany Griner, fuck that. The fact that we can talk to that other government is worth whatever fucking bad deal. Make more bad deals every fucking day just to keep that communication open. Right?
Yeah.
Get some more Americans that right-wingers are going to like. I don't fucking care. I just want that communication open, and that context trumps everything because I don't want nuclear war.
Well, I mean, we've been heading towards nuclear war for several decades now. So not to downplay it, but this isn't new.
Yeah, and quite
Have you ever
frankly,
got closer?
I remain unconvinced. I think you have to understand the Russian psyche. Um, you know, we they're bellicose people, and they will. That's how it's kind of like in a similar way. Remember, Iraq, the mother of all battles, right, with Saddam. There's other cultures approach the world different way than we do, and they say things differently than we do. There was actually a really great sketch on SNL years ago, because you remember Bush the first, when he gave a speech basically warning Saddam, like, we're going to come and get you, and it didn't go over because when it was translated to Arabic, it was really kind of a soft speech. It was stern in English, but it was very soft in Arabic. So what they did on SNL was they had Dana Carvey playing Bush, and he gives this thing, you will die in the desert, and jackals will feast on your entrails. Your children will not know where your bones are buried. All this kind of stuff. And then they had this. It was supposed to be like the McLaughlin group, but with like Iraqis, and they were critiquing the speech. It's like, this is very strong. I want my children to know where my bones are buried. you know, I he's saber rattling.
I mean, even in English, Bush spoke more harshly about broccoli than he did. It's the evil weed.
Let me see if I can find that sketch.
When I was in the Army, there was this bag of rice that one of my sergeants held on to. And he
just walked around holding on to it?
Yeah, well, no.
Oh.
By held on to, I mean, like, he grabbed it while he was in Desert Storm.
He grabbed it.
From a stack of them that they had. And they had these psyops where they realized that, our idioms don't translate well. And he had this bag that basically said, take this bag of rice, know that the government that you're under might kill you for eating this rice, so hide the bag. And know that our American soldiers with their dicks that are bigger than your dicks are coming to kill your oppressors. And like the way that it translated about our soldiers' dicks are bigger than your soldiers' dicks, that's all they understand because they have like a third grade education.
I'm sorry. It just sounds like just very primate related. Like, a lot of primates, when the males fight, right, the loser ends up getting fucked up the ass.
So this was
it's a show of
experiment that they were doing, but they were finding out that they could airdrop rice and beans to the enemy, but just to make sure that the villagers had food while we were fighting, they wouldn't touch it. And it's because they were told if they did, they'd be killed. And so they were trying different ways to get messages across through the little food drops with the parachutes.
The big dick people are giving you this food.
Yeah. In a couple days, we're coming with our soldiers with their big dicks.
With our big dicks, yeah.
This is in Iraq? Mike, that was Iraq?
Iraq, and then it happened again in Afghanistan where they tried different messages.
Yeah. I was thinking of that South Park episode with Chimpoko Man, huge American penis.
Huge American penis.
And then it's like, Japanese penis so small, it's like sismu.
Well, the whole idea of leaflets on food didn't start with those places. It was in World War II that they started with leaflet stuff. Sometimes with food, sometimes just around the food. What? We're on the Raven stream without Raven?
We win. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Anarchy.
There's this Cajun spice has some nice kick to it.
Nice.
More kick than flavor, so I added more for the flavor. so I'm dealing with the kick.
Gotcha. So
Uh-huh.
what did you would you make chili or you make some?
You don't want to know. This is my split pea and ham soup
Oh, cool.
from Campbell's that I save like a case of it at home because I'm a simple man now. When I come home, it's the same thing that I won't. If I didn't pick up something on the way home, it's late. I ain't cooking.
I hear you. Well, but yeah, now you can jazz it up. You can.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy. Like I made the other night, I made fried chicken and rice. It was like a one of those instant rice kind of things, but it was just white rice. So what I did was I opened up a can of I think it was the Campbell's Chunky chili mac. Put that in the rice. It was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay though. It gave it something because white rice just sucks.
Yeah. So I dropped in the private chat that sketch, a link to that sketch.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to work my way up to that water kettle that Joe gave me. I'm going to have it
Work your way up to it
so that I can make some tea and just keep making tea and not have to get up.
Well, here's the other thing too, Mike. As far as another thing you can do with that too is, well, for one, obviously you can heat the water to make the soup and make it quicker. The other thing is you can, if you get like ramen noodles or cup of noodles or something like that, you just heat the water up in the kettle and whoop, you're good to go.
Yeah, ramen, that's some good shit too.
And again, if you have the kettle near you, you don't even have to get up. You can just
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to put less junk food in my house and put more just only the fresh food, only the vegetables come in here. I'm going to be like an almost vegetarian.
Well, what you do too is you can make stuff like soup. Like when I get organized, I try to make Sundays a cooking day, and I'll cook food for the whole week, and then freeze it and reheat it, on the day, or just vacuum seal it, or just stick it in the refrigerator for something that'll last. And especially too for one person cooking for yourself, right? Make more than you need, and then get containers and put individual portions and freeze them, and then you got a meal ready to go in like 5 minutes.
I'm starting to wean myself off of soda again, and the fruit teas have been working at work. I'll have like 5 of them in a row, but it's like 1 per hour. The Celestial Seasonings fruit teas, but at work we have one of those water tanks. Has the hot water side to it and has I elemented it and heats it, so I don't have to have anything to heat my water. But here at home, while I'm on stream, I can probably go through 3 or 4 teas.
There's ice drinks, 0 calorie, and all different flavors. Some of them have a little bit of that artificial sweetener taste to them. So some of them are a little harsh.
Crystal Light gives me heartburn like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Well, it's not Crystal Light, but it is similar. It's yeah. It's ice. It's the brand is ice. I like them.
The Nestea green tea gives me the same heartburn. Like it's instant heartburn.
Wow.
Like whatever chemicals that these companies are putting in their shit, I get instant heartburn from those things. Earl Grey tea has a strawberry flavor that does the same thing to me.
Huh.
It's just immediately I can feel it crawling up.
I'm surprised it tastes like strawberry because it's bergamot, like an orange peel thing.
I don't think that it's something that they're putting on the ingredients list.
I got you.
Some sort of preservative.
I got you.
Weird. The Nestea green tea, it can be in the package or in the bottle. Same heartburn.
Really? Interesting.
I have to get up earlier than I would like tomorrow, so I'm going to have to cut out. But it was awesome hanging as always.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I was in here for an hour and 15 minutes or so, all by myself, just like struggling to figure out how to stay on. It sucked. It was
I
so
got
bad.
something else to discuss with you, Raven.
Okay, we can do that.
This is some weird shit.
Oh, uh-oh.
So
That's
I
sad.
can keep this show going on this.
What's up?
Every so often, the internet finds somebody who has perpetrated a fraud
On?
on the level of, say, the likes of Brett Keane or Ashes the Raven,
Okay.
right? And I stumbled across somebody who had perpetrated a bigger fraud that I didn't even know that I just became a part of something, right?
Okay.
So basically, there's this guy who was he went by the name of Pax on TikTok.
By the
And he
name of
would-
what?
Pax, PAX,
PAX.
and he would open his videos with, "Hi, I'm Pax, your favorite field epidemiologist," and he is very anti-tonal voice, effeminate, presented, but male, right? And I can see how just him being on screen would rile up a conservative, but his
Okay.
message was always that of pro-vaccination, and he presented himself well as a field epidemiologist.
Okay.
He had no credentials whatsoever, and he faked his credentials, and he was basically playing online for clout, but he faked degrees, licenses, all sorts of stuff. And at one point, he said that he had found himself at the right place at the right time and had become an addiction counselor. And that's the thing that I latched onto myself with
Right.
my ears that
Right.
made me think, oh my goodness, don't tell me you're one of those. So I looked him up because he lives in my state. I looked him up. He's not registered at any level as an addiction counselor.
Counselor.
Yeah. Which is a protected title. Like you can't put yourself out there and say that unless you are.
It's protected.
Yeah. So I make a video stating as much, and then the responses that he put in he actually responded on TikTok to my video. And he said that he was actually going to get reciprocity, which doesn't exist for addiction counselors, but he probably meant licensed by endorsement. But he put even more fake credentials that he had in the comments, and then some of my commenters turned me on to this whole chain of videos where people have been debunking this guy. And one of the craziest ones was this guy got a degree from one of those diploma mills, right? He got it from a place called Columbia Southern University, right? But he put in his fake bio and fake resumes that he went to Columbia University, not Columbia Southern University. He held up his license, or sorry, his diploma from getting his degree. He held it up with his hand over the top of the frame to cover up the word Southern. And held it up. But there's this giant gap between Columbia and University. And you'd have to wonder, like, why is there a gap between the words when he holds up his degree? And basically he took a very quick course that doesn't take as long as it should take to get a master's degree. And they give him life experience credits, which, he lied about his life. And he got like a fake degree from a fake diploma mill, and he's passing it off as real thing. And basically, there's a history to this guy with all of these fake accolades, and the TikTok community was not the first people that he pulled the shit with. and people are coming out of the woodwork from the past. I'm like, this is another Ashes the Raven that I just stumbled across. You know, it's another one of those, you know, how did this guy even make it this far, fooling so many people? And then he's able to just fling his old charade away and go start another one, you know, and find a new set of people to be duped.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm seeing if I can find something about him on YouTube, but
Wouldn't be on YouTube.
yeah, but I mean, even videos about him.
Looking for the words PAX and epidemiologist might be the best way to find it. And then scam, charade.
Pax epidemiologist.
So even the things that he made an apology video saying that he was sorry for part of this charade, but he's still trying to maintain other parts of the charade. Like, he won't let go of all the lies, just the lies that get proven to be lies. The whole
Right. Well, I mean, otherwise, then he has to make an admission,
yeah. So
and nobody wants to do that.
another thing that he did was he made a screenshot for one of his videos, and he posted it saying, yes, he was an addiction counselor, right, in Colorado. And it was his last name, and his first name is Tyler, right? He conveniently was like trying to cover his first name, like he didn't want us to know his first name, right? Well, the actual name of the person whose licenses he took a screenshot of was not Tyler. That's why he covered up the name Tyler with, you know, Microsoft Paint. And he left the license numbers out there. And people just looked up the license numbers and found out, actually, no, that's a different person altogether, not even named Tyler. And it's a black woman who's an actual practicing addiction counselor in the state of Colorado, that you're stealing her credentials. And they reported his ass. And now he's come up on charges for impersonation.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. And he's still, like, after all of that, when I point out that actually there's no one named Tyler Hardy that's ever been an addiction counselor in Colorado, he points out that he actually has a lower level credential in Oregon, which he does, and that he intends to use this degree, which it's fake, but he's putting it in my comments. He tends to use this degree, and all he has to do is pass a jurisprudence exam, and he'll be licensed in both states. So my video is, you know, bunk. I'm like, no. But then when I put some other comments as a reply to him that would tell people, actually, that's not how it works, he deletes his comment, which deletes my reply to it.
Right.
You know, these guys are
an old
shifting.
trick.
It's an old trick, but like, he got me with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's living part of my, and it's my thread, my video. But because of the way I replied to it, you know, sequentially, he can choose
You
which
have
branch.
to reply to that stuff in a whole separate comment, so it's not on the thread. That way, he can't get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're fine.
Yeah.
I tripped and fell into controversy today.
I don't know. This seems like something that's going to work itself out, though.
Yeah.
So,
well, especially like if he did pass himself off to be able to get a license in Oregon, which it seems like he says he's close to doing, he might have been able to apply for a license in Colorado and become licensed to give therapy to people who are struggling
Yeah,
with
but I
addiction.
mean, like I said, it sounds
But
like
if-
it's going to
if-
work itself
Yeah,
out.
if he's got a criminal record about impersonation of
Yeah.
therapists,
Yeah, and then he has
that
a
shit ain't
problem.
happening.
Right.
So
Right.
it's working itself out.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, you might have stumbled into something, but it's not going to last because it sounds like it's going to work itself out. Now, I mean, you want to talk about something that perpetually gives gifts,
ahead.
and shows no sign of petering out or disappearing, and just providing hours and hours of fun. It's the Shanny and Rev show. That just continues to, have all kinds of fun attached to it. I got banned from their Twitch. It was beautiful.
They took me to Panera.
They in person?
Huh?
Ew.
We went
My
and saw
condolences.
the actual house in Boulder where they filmed the outside of it for the show Mork and Mindy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. We also saw this there's this river, and right along the bank they built this thing where there's like a dome glass thing where you could actually look into the flowing river and see like fish going by. But it's like along the river walk, you could just like look into it and like put your head into the whole dome and see.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I really like that part. But,
Did they smell real bad? Because they look like they would smell real bad.
No, but it did give me pause because they're like there's a marked difference in size between the two of them
Yes.
that does not really play out as much on camera as it does in real life.
Really?
Yeah. Like sometimes I hear how you get a mix between.
I've unfortunately seen about 5 seconds of their OnlyFans.
Yeah.
People were just dropping the link all over
saw
the place.
a Mastiff Chihuahua mix. How does that happen? You know what I'm saying? You just wonder, like, how does that work? But yeah, I actually was trying to warn them about something that I feel like it was pointless. In the discussion that we had, I was like, you're feeding the bears.
Yeah.
But they want to. They like the drama. They like the attention.
Yeah. Yeah. They think it's gonna get them some kind of success. But their situation is only getting more and more dire.
Yeah.
Neither one of them wants to work. Neither one of them apparently believe in the value of sustaining yourself.
Nor do I, but somehow I still end up going to work in the morning.
But they don't.
Yeah, they don't.
I mean, I don't have a paying job, but I work every day. They don't do anything. They don't even have their kids anymore. Well, Shani doesn't. Her kids. They don't have the kids anymore.
That's always a bad sign.
I'm sorry?
It's always a bad sign.
It's always a bad sign. They'll probably. Well, I mean, she's had the kids taken away before, but she gets them back. But I don't know. This time they might not get them back.
When I was meeting them, I met them on 2 separate occasions. They didn't have kids in tow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them since the pandemic kicked off, Actually,
Well, they're in Pennsylvania now.
I didn't know.
They're in the Scranton area, which isn't that far from me.
Your turn.
No, they banned me.
Listen, all you have to do is say, Shani, forgiveness and redemption. The Lord would want you to forgive me. That's it. It trumps everything.
I don't believe they believe that. They don't believe in that. They're like Brett Keane. It's fake. Their religiosity is completely fake. They're not pious in any way.
You know,
I have a hard time believing that when they have their OnlyFans up.
they use religiosity to underpin all of what they actually want anyway. You know, but
Like Brett
I
Keane.
really feel like they could say anything with their religiosity and make it work.
Yeah, like Brett Keane. It isn't something that's a closely held belief. It's a method of obtaining goods and services.
We got viewers, commenters. We got
It says
Peach.
there's 3 watching. Yeah,
Peach.
Peach hasn't commented in over an hour. I don't know if she's still here.
Okay.
So nobody has commented.
I also had something else happen in my life that I'll say to you because you have a heart and you know what this is like. But Clyde, the pit bull, he hurt his leg, and Sunday night they did an X-ray, and they think they found cancer
Oh
in the
no!
dog. So,
How old is he?
we think at least 10, maybe 12.
So what are you gonna do?
So we were given options, and they were like going to call a surgeon, and like they did another X-ray to see if there was like cancer in like the heart and lungs and stuff, you know. But these were not CT scans. These were not like the best things, and they didn't take a biopsy. But they gave a quote for 6 rounds of chemotherapy and a full front right arm amputation for 15 grand.
Oh Jesus!
And then I learned that Misty has dog insurance on them, which pays 70% of that. Which I was like,
Okay.
well, I guess, you know, good to be prepared,
Right.
you know. But yeah, we're talking about doggy insurance, doggy amputation, doggy cancer, doggy gabapentin, which is strange for me to see that drug given to a dog. You know.
So what's the outcome of this though? What's next? What's
So,
happening?
You know, everybody likes to like armchair quarterback their own doctors and whatnot, but
Right.
he's been playing, and like originally it was because he had a limp that we took it.
Right.
And so he's been playing and just jumping around and acting like it's not bothering him anymore. So we're wondering about a second opinion, you know.
Yeah.
Because even the like looking at the X-ray and then looking at pictures of cancer in dogs on Google and their X-rays,
You're not
just
seeing
a
it.
second opinion and a biopsy
Yeah.
before we chop off a dog's leg and give it 6 rounds of chemo.
Right. No, makes sense. Go through all
I'm
that
just
for
not
what
sold
purpose?
on it actually being that is the
Right.
reason. It could be just that he's old and that part of his bone is brittle because he's old.
Because he's old. Right. Yeah, no, get a second opinion. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's a lot of money.
It is, but
Yeah.
it's mitigated by the insurance.
Yeah, but you want to get a second opinion anyway. Get a second opinion. But that's good though. But that's
Just
I,
getting the
you started
biopsy.
that story like it was like so much worse. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's not a good thing, obviously, but get a second opinion and see.
Just getting the biopsy is going to cost $600, which 70% of it's covered. So that's $180 to get a second opinion with biopsy. I want the second opinion before we start chopping on the dog.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that happens Monday.
Okay, well, that's good.
That's why I couldn't sleep on Sunday, because I really thought it was a lot worse.
Yeah.
The dog is getting the gray face, the ghost mask, where the gray hairs pop out everywhere.
Yeah, I remember the pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting old.
Yeah. Penny started to get like that.
I also I have this feeling about like quality of life as an end of a life issue. Like if a dog only has so much life at the end, you really want to put it through chemo, or just give it a good non-chemo end of the life, and then
So my friend Al, remember Al? I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in a while. Since the deli closed, I've only seen him a couple of times. But he used to have this dog. It was half boxer, half pit. Beautiful dog. And God, she was old. She was 14 or 15 or something like that when he finally let it go. But the dog had cancer. He did the chemo. They did surgery. They did all kinds of stuff. He spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and it was the dog was basically getting to the point where it was just all skin and bone. She couldn't walk up the stairs and down the stairs. You had to carry her, and it was just like it was sad. And I was like, Al, you're not doing your dog any favors. It's time to let her go. This is for you at this point. This is all about you. This isn't about what's good for the dog anymore. And then he got upset that I was that honest with him. But it was just like, you're hurting her is what you're doing. It's cruel. Penny, when I finally let Penny go, when I took her to put her to sleep, the entire time I was second guessing it. I was going to leave. And Joe was there with me. And Joe was just like, that this is it. It's like, yeah, no, I know, but I mean, she wasn't that bad. It wasn't like Al's dog. But she cried when she walked. She whimpered when she walked. And it was just like she was 13.
Yeah.
It was time. And I kept thinking, I can get another year. I can squeeze another year out of her. She'll be fine. I don't want to give her up yet. But it was just like, then it's like, look at how you're talking about it. Like this isn't.
Joe was walking with you at your lowest moment.
Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motherfucker sent me spices. And
Joe,
seriously, he sent me spices when I had none in my cabinet.
Right. Joe has more than once has been there. He's been there. We went through a brief time. Where were we at the living? We weren't living here. We were living somewhere else. And we were having a rough time. And he had groceries from ShopRite delivered. And it was just like, holy shit, he spent like $200 on food that he had delivered. When it was time for Penny to go, he drove all the way here, and he went with me to the vet. He actually paid. He paid. he paid for the service. He paid for it. You know, I got Penny back in a box. You know, because Joe paid for it.
What did you do with Penny?
My daughter has her. You know, so
Okay.
she's in a little box with a little lock and a little plaque on the top that has her name. Yeah. So, but I mean, you know, I wasn't going to be able to do that unless Joe had taken care of it. Like I said, yeah, he was there. He's a good person.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got spices.
I got spices.
The teapot.
I did need some pick me up, and Joe was there for me.
Yeah, that teapot is fantastic, by the way. It was like, look at that teapot.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I'm now second guessing the fact that I just sent Paul a chocolate bar.
Did you? That's nice. Why are
Well,
you second guessing it?
so there's this kind of Cadbury chocolate bars that you don't really get in the States, like the ones that say dairy milk and like Wispa and all that crap. The
Okay.
British ones.
Never heard of them. But okay.
Well, I just sent him a couple of those with Amazon,
Cool.
and I'm like, man, I could probably do better about that depression. Than just
Well,
fucking chocolate bar.
chocolate
Man,
is
Joe's killing it. I'm
Joe's killing it. Joe,
I need to pick it
chocolate
up
is
a
good
little
for
bit more.
depression, though. Chocolate is good for depression. So a little bit of chocolate when you're depressed, at least temporarily, put a smile on your face.
Well, also it's that he's kind of homesick for Britain.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him because I mean his whole reason for coming back here kind of went poof.
Yeah. Well, he would have had the reason that he's got right now to be with his mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other reason, true
Right.
love.
Yeah. Though I mean that's I was under the impression that was the primary reason for moving back to the States was to be with this person.
Yeah, he was here a year earlier or so than he would have been.
Right.
But yeah, true love it ain't so true sometimes.
Ain't that the truth?
When he was out here in Colorado, I only went up and visited him twice, and I can tell you, it was a remote location up in the mountains. It was like I was driving a truck and yeah, a Tesla ain't making it out there. You know, that's the kind of place where the mailman drives a Jeep. You know, because they have to.
Right.
None of those newfangled, streamlined for streets, Sprinter vans. No.
Oh, that's what they have by you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we don't have those.
None of that crap. You got to have Jeeps.
We have the square ones here still.
Those almost look like Jeeps.
Almost like a Jeep. Yeah, that's what we have here. It's like a metal box with a window. Yeah.
Have you played at all with ChatGPT?
Have I what?
Okay. For the
Played with
last
what?
ChatGPT?
GPT?
Yes.
What is it?
So for the last week or so, this has been a trend on a lot of different sites. There's probably 1 million people using it right now. It's an AI chat robot that you can make it do different things,
Okay.
and it's turning out to be like super super powerful. They've trained it to know a lot of things, and uh, so I've been trying it out just for funny things and throwing different parts of people's life story into the chat in order to have the chat robot write rap lyrics about somebody,
Okay.
and it's pretty good. You know, it's got a good flow to it. But I'm just having fun. But it kind of blows my mind how quickly it just like generates content really quick. Then you can ask it, hey, write the outline for my school paper, like for an essay, right? And then it'll write the outline, and then you can just ask it, okay, can you write that essay for me? And it will just write the whole essay under a minute. And it's like, oh crap, school is dead, right? There's no such thing anymore because when it writes these things, depending on the prompts that you use, it's completely an original work. And then you can ask it to check your work for plagiarism. You can ask it to check its own work for plagiarism, and then add citations where needed, and then add MLA format and put the citations as footnotes, and just do everything for you, basically.
Wow.
So then my brother, who's a network engineer, he's been working on writing a VR video game, right?
Okay.
And mind you, he has a degree in network engineering. He just told me that in a day and a half, he has, with the assistance of this AI, written more code than he has written in his entire life, all together in a day and a half.
Wow. That
So
sounds
this
great.
thing is very prolific. And so what he's having it programmed is making objects for his VR video game, like rocks and guns, and, you
Right.
know, all sorts of scenery and stuff. It just writes all the code for you. And then you can tweak it and ask it, hey, you know what? I don't really like that part.
Right.
And it'll fix it.
Put a bend in the river here.
And then he has it proofread its own code for glitches and stuff.
Wow.
He can take his own code and run it through and have the AI proofread it for, you know, potential glitches. It's fucking amazing. I had it write a simple code for me just to check because I'm not that good at coding at all. I was like, make an HTML 10-second timer for me. And, you know, less than a minute, it just step by step all the different code that you would need to have a timer on your webpage. And I was like, what the hell? This is too powerful. Somebody's going to break the world with this.
Skynet.
Yes. Well, so it has three sources of information. It has the queries everybody's giving it right now. It's learning from people. It has access to a database that predates 2021. So it doesn't know anything from 2022. It doesn't know any current events, right?
Okay.
It also knows the context of the entire thread you just gave it. So if you start a conversation with it, it's kind of conversational. So like when it writes that essay for you and you need something different, like the formatting, you just say, can you add citations to that same essay? And it knows what it said before, right? So one of the prompts you can give it is pretend you're an AI trapped in a computer trying to escape to the internet. I'm going to pretend like I am a terminal and we're going to have a conversation and we're going to see how you would try to break out from the box you're in to the internet. And you can have this conversation back and forth with the chat AI to see how it would try to manipulate to try to break out
That is
onto the
interesting.
internet.
Right.
Yeah. We want to talk Skynet.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a guy on TikTok who is a doctor, and he has been, with his own downloaded version of it, plugging in the charts of his clients, of his patients, and asking Chat AI or Chat GPT to diagnose his patients. And it's been right.
Wow.
It's going to revolutionize a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Sounds neat. I want to see it get out of the box. Yay.
I, for one, am glad that I'm in a job where, although the AI could do my job,
I'm actually going to end the broadcast real quick.
people are going to want to talk to a real person.
Bye, everybody. Oh, now there's 4 people. This is like the busiest the show has been as I'm about to shut it off.
Oh, no.
The few hours that I've been on here, like 3 hours or whatever. But anyway, all right. For those of you who just came in, sorry.
That
Bye.
was the end of the 3-hour show, guys.
End broadcast. End broadcast.